Russian President Vladimir Putin has agreed to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump, according to the Kremlin. The date and location of the meeting have yet to be announced. This development comes as the two leaders continue to navigate complex diplomatic relationships. Texas Senator John Cornyn announced that FBI Director Kash Patel has granted his request to assist in locating the state's fleeing House Democrats. The Democrats fled the state in protest of GOP-led redistricting efforts, rendering the legislature unable to take up legislation. Cornyn expressed gratitude for Patel's prompt response and called the Democrats' actions irresponsible. The Texas Department of Public Safety has also been ordered to find and arrest the missing lawmakers. Chao Feng-ge, a 32-year-old Chinese citizen, died by suicide while in ICE custody at the Moshannon Valley Processing Center in Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania. Ge was found hanging by his neck in the shower room and had been in custody for only 5 days. An investigation determined that Ge's death was a result of suicide with no foul play involved. Ge was arrested in January for fraudulently using a credit card to buy gift cards and was awaiting a hearing before the Department of Justice's Executive Office for Immigration Review. A golden retriever named Bowie has been making waves with his unique smile, which his owners describe as right on the edge of adorable and a little uncanny. The video of Bowie's smile was captured by his owner and has since gone viral. The dog's unusual expression has sparked interest and amusement among animal lovers and social media users. Breathtaking video captured the moment two twin waterspouts merged off the Po River Delta on Italy's northeastern coast, driven by strong winds that hit the area. The incident occurred on August 7, 2025. Katie Miller, the wife of White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, has launched a new podcast called The Katie Miller Podcast. The podcast aims to provide a space for conservative women to gather and discuss various topics, including lifestyle, news, and politics. Miller, who previously worked as an advisor to Elon Musk's Doge, left the Trump administration alongside Musk to work in the private sector. Her first guests on the podcast include Vice President J.D. Vance, boxing legend Mike Tyson, and ex-ESPN host Sage Steele. The show will release new episodes on Mondays. Cuisinart's back-to-school sale offers deals on stainless steel pans, small appliances, and kitchen tools. The sale features discounts of up to 30% off original prices for items such as air fryer toaster ovens, griddles, and cast-iron cookware. The sale runs through August 17th. Andrew James McGann, a 28-year-old teacher, has been charged with capital murder in the deaths of David and Kristen Brink, who were stabbed to death while hiking at Devil's Den State Park in Arkansas. The couple was on a family vacation with their 2 young daughters when they were attacked. McGann, who passed background checks and worked as a teacher in multiple districts, confessed to the killings during an interview with investigators. He is being held in jail without bond and will appear in court on August 25th. Fox News host Greg Gutfeld will appear as a guest on NBC's The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon on Thursday, marking a rare crossover between the two networks. Gutfeld joked that it was the biggest crossover since the Harlem Globetrotters visited the Golden Girls. He will join Fallon from Studio 6B in Rockefeller Center, near Fox News Media's New York City headquarters. The U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Jeanine Pirro, announced that the Justice Department is considering the death penalty for Elias Rodriguez, who was indicted on several counts related to the deaths of Yaron Liskinsky and Sarah Nogrim. Rodriguez allegedly shot and killed the 2 Israeli embassy staffers outside the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C., on May 22, 2025. The indictment includes charges of first-degree murder under D.C.'s criminal code, as well as multiple counts carrying the maximum penalty of death or life imprisonment. Attorney General Pam Bondi will determine if the DOJ seeks the death penalty for Rodriguez. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, has lodged an ICE detainer on Roberto Romero Hernandez, a Mexican national suspected of driving drunk and killing 59-year-old Ricky G. Maddox using a lawnmower in Alexandria, Louisiana. According to local media outlets, Romero Hernandez was driving a Chevrolet Silverado on the night of August 3rd when he left the road on Highway 1 and struck Maddox on his Kubota lawnmower on the northbound shoulder. Maddox was taken to the hospital with severe injuries where he later died. This incident is part of a larger trend, as DHS says that illegal aliens drinking and driving and killing American citizens happens far more often than the media wants you to know about. In recent weeks, an illegal alien driving under the influence killed a mother and her 11-year-old daughter in New Jersey and 2 high school sweethearts in Wisconsin. Every death caused by an illegal alien is preventable. Actress Camilla Luddington has been diagnosed with Hashimoto's hypothyroidism, an autoimmune disorder that affects the thyroid gland. She revealed her diagnosis on her podcast, describing the relief and validation she felt after months of confusing symptoms. Luddington, known for her role as Dr. Joe Wilson on Grey's Anatomy, experienced severe exhaustion and swelling before being diagnosed. Her doctors told her that Hashimoto's is a common autoimmune disorder that can be controlled with treatment. Luddington admits the journey hasn't been easy, but she's found hope in the support she's received and the treatment plan. The FBI has ousted at least 3 officials, including former acting director Brian Driscoll and an officer involved in the January 6th investigations, Fox News has learned. The departures come months after thousands of FBI personnel were forced to fill out a questionnaire asking employees detailed questions about their role in the investigation into the January 6, 2021 U.S. Capitol riots. Sources described the removals as retribution. Though reasons remain unclear, more ousters are expected at the Bureau by the end of the week. A new study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition has found that eggs may not be as bad for cholesterol as previously believed. The research, led by Australian researchers, investigated the impact of dietary cholesterol and saturated fat on LDL cholesterol, often known as bad cholesterol. The study assigned 61 adults with baseline LDL cholesterol to various diets for 5 weeks each, including a high cholesterol, low saturated fat diet with 2 eggs per day. The results showed that the nutrition plan with 2 eggs per day reduced LDL cholesterol more than the egg-free diet. Saturated fat intake was found to be positively correlated with LDL cholesterol, but dietary cholesterol was not. This study follows a December 2024 advisory from the FDA that deemed eggs healthy due to growing research that the food does not raise bad cholesterol. A certified holistic nutritionist agrees that eggs can be part of a balanced diet and recommends swapping out some bacon or sausage for more eggs when having a cooked breakfast. The global Intifada movement, dedicated to destroying the State of Israel, is splintering publicly for the first time as a Palestinian-American activist accuses a Jewish-American actor and self-professed ally of being a sexual predator. Nurdin Kiswani, co-founder and leader of Within Our Lifetime, WOL, published 9 allegations against Jacob Berger on X social media platform Friday. The incident marks a significant public split within the movement, which has been criticized for its anti-Semitic rhetoric and actions. Local and federal detectives are investigating what they call a hate crime after discovering anti-Semitic graffiti on the roadway and multiple vehicles damaged by fire in Missouri. Rabbi Micah Greenland warns that Jewish students in public schools across America are being faced with a fresh wave of hatred as they prepare to return to the classroom. Bishop Mark Brennan of the Diocese of Wheeling-Charleston in West Virginia released a statement condemning President Donald Trump's mass deportation efforts, comparing some immigrants' plight to Matthew 2, which describes how Mary and Joseph fled Israel with an infant Jesus Christ. The bishop praised Catholic Charities for helping migrants and noted that illegal entry into the U.S. is on the same misdemeanor statutory level as loitering and shoplifting. He also criticized both political parties for failing to substantively address immigration reform. A 19-year-old man in Maryland has been accused of impersonating a police officer and making fake traffic stops. Jaden Ballard allegedly gained access to a marked Maryland State Police vehicle and wore a uniform while conducting unlawful traffic stops throughout Wicomico County. The Maryland State Police received information about Ballard's actions in February, leading to his arrest and charges for impersonating a police officer and unlawful taking of a motor vehicle. Ballard's trial is scheduled to begin on September 24th. Roger Daltrey, the 81-year-old frontman of The Who, has expressed concerns about making it to the end of his current tour due to ongoing health issues. In an interview with The Times, Daltrey revealed that he's going blind and deaf, but still has a strong voice. He stated that this is likely the last time fans will see him on tour, citing the grueling nature of performing for 3 hours a night, 6 nights a week. Despite his health struggles, Daltrey remains optimistic about his life and is ready to go at any time. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has refused to engage in trade negotiations with U.S. President Donald Trump over tariffs imposed on Brazilian products. The dispute began when Trump announced a 40% tariff on Brazilian goods, which Lula called unacceptable blackmail. The feud deepens as the White House opposes Brazil's treatment of former President Jair Bolsonaro, who was recently placed under house arrest amid ongoing legal proceedings. Lula has stated that he will not humiliate himself by engaging in talks with Trump unless his intuition suggests otherwise. The U.S. has imposed tariffs on over 60 countries and the European Union, with Brazil facing an additional penalty of up to 50% due to its refusal to comply with U.S. demands. A recent surge in quishing attacks, a form of phishing that uses QR codes instead of traditional methods, has put people's personal information and money at risk. Experts warn that the growing trend could lead to millions of people unknowingly opening malicious websites. To protect yourself from quishing, experts recommend verifying the source before scanning, using personal data removal services, assessing the physical QR code, scrutinizing the web link, using strong antivirus software, enabling two-factor authentication, accessing websites directly instead of scanning QR codes, updating device operating systems and apps, and reporting suspicious activity. 6 U.S. Army soldiers at Fort Stewart in Georgia put themselves in harm's way to stop the alleged shooter, Sergeant Cornelius Radford, who has been apprehended. 3 of the 5 injured soldiers have been released from the hospital, while 2 remain in stable condition but are expected to have longer roads to recovery. The incident occurred on Thursday, and Army Secretary Dan Driscoll praised the soldiers for their heroism in saving lives. A protest doll holding a sign reading "Remember Hiroshima" was spotted at Disneyland's It's a Small World exhibit over the weekend, sparking questions and speculation online. Ben Cohen, co-founder of Ben & Jerry's, revealed he was behind the stunt as part of his campaign against the U.S. government's stockpile of powerful weapons. The doll was placed in the attraction ahead of the 80th anniversary of the Hiroshima bombings, which killed over 100,000 people during World War II. Veteran Democratic strategist James Carville called on Democrats to take advantage of their next victory in unprecedented ways, using it to entrench their power and save American democracy. He urged adding Puerto Rico and District of Columbia as states, expanding the Supreme Court to 13 members, and establishing a permanent electoral majority. For comfortable travel, consider compression socks that boost blood flow, reduce swelling, and ward off leg cramps. Slip-on shoes offer easy comfort and convenience through airport security, boarding lines, and long walks in terminals. Here are 10 options from brands like Amazon Essentials, Sockwell, Allbirds, and Skechers that deliver comfort and ease while traveling. Former UFC fighter Ben Askren says he turned to Christianity after waking up from a medically induced coma and undergoing a double lung transplant following a severe case of pneumonia. During an interview with Flow Wrestling, the former Olympic wrestler spoke about his journey and the moment he woke up from a coma and decided to become a Christian. "I woke up and I just decided I was a Christian," Askren said in the video. He went on to explain that while he attended church with his wife, he never felt the call to faith until this experience. Askren has been recovering from his surgery and has taken to social media to update fans and supporters as he continues his recovery journey. Stop Anti-Semitism is demanding Sephora stop carrying products from Huda Beauty after its founder, Huda Kattan, posted a TikTok rant blaming Israel for causing every world war and 9/11. The Palestinian terrorist group Hamas also blamed the Jews for World War I in its 1988 charter. Sephora said it was reviewing the situation and would take action if necessary. Other Jewish groups condemned Kattan's remarks and demanded that retailers stop working with her. Comedian Leanne Morgan is known as the Grandmama from Tennessee, but she's not your typical grandmother. She's a stand-up comedian who has made it big in Hollywood, starring in her own Netflix series Leanne. But despite her success, Morgan says she's still true to herself and refuses to let Hollywood change her. In an interview with Fox News Digital, Morgan talked about how she got started in comedy, what it's like to star in a sitcom, and why she's so proud of her Southern roots. Morgan said that she always knew she wanted to be a comedian, even as a child. "I was the class clown," she said. "I would make my friends laugh all the time." But it wasn't until she was in her 30s that she decided to pursue comedy full-time. "I was married with 3 kids and I thought..." Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro has joined a lawsuit against President Donald Trump's administration over its ban on transgender surgeries for minors. Shapiro, a potential 2028 Democratic hopeful, claims the federal government is overstepping its authority by trying to take medical decisions away from parents and local communities. The governor also criticized supporters of a state Senate bill that would ban biological males from competing in girls' sports, calling them extremist politicians. Shapiro's lawsuit is part of a larger effort by 16 states to block Trump's executive order on the issue.